Tumbling down. I tell you, this is huge stuff. That how do you not know if that's the process? If it's over $25,000, it must be approved by the president. So his signature must be on something. And she was promoted. Kind of big, don't you think? You're telling me this doesn't go all the way up? Really? Really? Okay, yeah. Oh, if that helps you sleep better at night, Kevin, yes.
There's a question for you also. I'm just gonna throw this out there.
The angrier I get, the higher my voice gets.
Here's a little thing. I know a little thing about this. You think they took taxes out of this bonus? This is a little question for you because they do it for military bonuses. They take taxes out of money that was already given from taxes. It's supposed to be a bonus for your service. I wonder if they took the taxes out of that. I'm probably going to lean towards no. I bet you they didn't take taxes out of that.
Did Sarah Ingram pay her fair share?
Yeah, there you go. That's just a little question I'm throwing out there. Because they take our taxes. They take taxes out of our bonuses. So.
That's something, by the way, Kevin will cut you over. Yeah. That's a topic he gets mad about. I know.
It's just ridiculous. It's supposed to be a bonus, and it's like, hey, let's take half of it. Okay.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, I don't trust these individuals. I don't trust them. I mean, this, and also, too, from the Weekly Standard, the IRS commissioner had even admitted we planned when we were going to reveal this, that we had wrongly targeted. Representative Nunez asked, was her question to Ms. Lerner about, because see, the question that started all of this in that press conference with Loesch Lerner announced all of this and had the apology because they were trying to head off that IG report. And Miller said, yes, we did talk about that. They had this already. They were discussing when to even reveal it. You're telling me that they didn't talk about revealing a scandal that they knew about for 2+ years, that they didn't talk about holding it until after the election? If you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. If you believe that they did not. Let's go to the phones real quick before we kick it into some headlines. David is making an excellent point. David, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I remember the 98 hearings of back in 90 on the IRS and their corruption top to bottom.
Yeah.
And Congress gave them the power to police themselves with the new laws that they passed, and they promoted the corrupt agents and fired all the whistleblowers.
Absolutely. Yeah, they had claimed that they were going to reform the IRS and they were going to focus on better service and paying better attention to the law in 1998. So what happened? Yeah.
Yeah, they fired everyone who tattled on them.
Exactly. Oh yeah, they made sure that the folks who didn't snitch basically remained in office. That the people who were mistreating taxpayers, that they could stay there, and everyone else who told on them, they were kicked out. Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Very nice. That's a great point, David. I appreciate you calling in with that as well. Rod has a list of people he wants to see testify. Rod, good afternoon to you.
Yes, 4 people I have in mind. The first on the Benghazi issue would be David Petraeus, because isn't it interesting that he complained last September, October about the way the CIA intelligence was misrepresented, and in November, all of a sudden, a mistress is discovered.
Well, he wouldn't be able to come in and testify in the IRS hearing, but
no, I
see, I understand that.
I'm talking about Benghazi.
Yeah.
All right, now on the IRS thing, I think there are 3 people I would really like to see questioned intensely. One would be Valerie Jarrett, and another would be Rahm Emanuel, because this whole thing of intimidation really smells of their type of operation.
I definitely want to see Doug Shulman and Sarah Hall Ingram be brought in. I would love to see Lois Lerner be brought in. That's for sure.
I got one more name for you.
Oh, yes.
Somebody that left, Timothy Geithner.
Oh, that would be interesting
as well.
Well, they report to the Treasury, so there you go. I mean, that would be interesting. Rod, I appreciate the call in. Yeah, there's a ton of people we'd like to see brought in, would we not? Let's kick it into some headlines.
With all the news that is news, it's the Dana Show headlines.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. This is audio, where are we at? This is the Associated Press. Audio soundbite 8. The president says he makes no apologies for seizing the AP phone records.
I make no apologies, and I don't think the American people would expect me as Commander-in-Chief not to be concerned about information that might compromise their missions or might
I don't
get
buy
them
that.
killed.
No, I don't buy that at all. Not at all. Because the CIA explicitly asked the Associated Press to not talk about Yemen, not because it put people at risk, because the mission was already over and they wanted to announce a successful counterterrorism operation, according to the Washington Post, which blows this out of the water. No, says WAPO, according to documents, the public was never actually at risk. The White House just wanted to be able to announce it in a very sweeping, glowing, orchestrated, Hollywood-esque fashion. That's why. They didn't want the thunder stolen. That's why. And they've never given really explicit reason as to how the timeline, A, doesn't match up from the operation and AP reporting. B, only a handful, 4 people were writing this story? Why do you need 22 phone records in addition to other ones? This was a widespread, sweeping confiscation. It makes zero sense. And the Department of Justice, CIA, and administration have never explained, well, the timeline doesn't match up, and the number of records seized as compared to the number of people actually writing the story are vastly disproportionate. They've never given any sort of explanation for that. So it makes no sense. Stop using that talking point because it don't fly. Leslie Marshall wanted to buy me a surfboard. I need to get a surfboard to surf on all of the tears from the progressives who are hysterically crying, screaming, conspiracy, because their Jenga tower has fallen down.
Dana, you know I like you, okay? But I'm going to buy you a surfboard because you're riding a wave of conspiracy to connect to the president, a grassy knoll with appointees being pushed around. It is not. There is no fact.
How is
what
it
is
a
the fact?
conspiracy
Please present the
that this took
facts
place
where
under
the
Doug
president of
Schulman's
the
The documents from people like Carl Levin and Chuck Schumer and Al Franken to the IRS demanding that they target Tea Partiers, actual documents with their own signature, that's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy that Doug Schulman and Lois Lerner and the top IRS chief counsel had a number of recorded on-the-record meetings about their offices targeting Tea Partiers. That's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy that Doug Schulman testified before 2 House Ways and Means committees and lied about whether or not his department was targeting Tea Partiers a year and a half after they learned that they were targeting Tea Partiers. That's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory that groups were denied. It's a conspiracy theory that there is documentation showing point blank that the IRS specifically told pro-life groups that they couldn't get tax-exempt status unless they promised not to protest, picket, and or impede at all Planned Parenthood. That's a conspiracy theory. I need to buy a surfboard so Leslie Marshall can surf on all the BS that's coming out of her mouth. You can do the more you know. That's my PSA for today. You're welcome. Quick break. When we return, we're going to talk to Steven Crowder. We also have your calls coming up because it is Open Line Friday. Keep it here.